Sian and Ann Goodman. Welcome.
Thanks. My name is Aaron Rosenswag. I live on 1 Thorburn Road. 1 year ago, my family decided to buy our first single-family home. We had 2 main requirements. Number 1, we wanted to be in the Wootton High School cluster. A house in Rockville would work fine, as would a house in Gaithersburg. Number 2, we wanted pet chickens. Rockville's no chicken policy made our decision easy. We simply found a home in Gaithersburg. Our nation was founded on the notion that life and liberty are rights for all people. Along with this, our Constitution grants us the right to own property, which includes chickens. If you're going to remove any liberty from your city residents, there better be a darn good reason. I ask you, what is your good reason for banning chickens in Rockville? It's a trick question. You have none. You owe your citizens an apology. You unconstitutionally revoked their right to own chickens. A chicken is not a farm animal. It is a bird, similar to a talking parrot. It was originally a woodland creature. Yes, you may find a chicken on a farm, but that does not define this animal. A chicken makes a wonderful urban companion. A chicken is not a mammal. Its normal body temperature is 104 degrees. Their body chemistry is so different that the number of diseases humans can obtain from them are close to 0. Contrast this with a dog or cat, both mammals, both contain roundworms, which will cause human children to go blind if you do not administer heartworm medication to those animals. This is the leading cause of blindness in Appalachia. A chicken learns faster than a dog. In fact, the best dog training programs start by teaching how to train chickens. It's simple. You feel encouraged when a chicken follows your commands, which gives you confidence and skills to train stubborn dogs easier. A chicken is soft, cuddly, and cute, and just fun to snuggle with. A chicken is useful. They sometimes give you eggs. They always eat ticks and slugs and other nasties. They are cheap therapy because you can't help but smile when you see them. Everything about them is useful, even their poo. You can sell their poo. A 20-pound bag of chicken poo will cost you $15 or more. Their poo is one of the few kinds of fertilizer that is safe to use on vegetable gardens for human consumption. This is not true for dog or cat poo. Allow chickens. You might like it. If you don't, no harm, no foul. FOWL.
Thank you.
We were going to thank you.
Ruthyn Sen, to be followed by Ann Goodman and Rob Selden. Welcome.
Yes, I'm still Ruthyn Sen, and I still live at 303 Highland Avenue. And I have to tell you that if we're worrying about tax base, we need to permit chickens. That was a rather dramatic statement that gentleman made, and I hope we will at some point be able to consult him on how to appropriately manage chickens in Rockville when it is permissible to do so. Many city elections ago, Animal Exchange asked candidates their position on re-permitting chickens as pets. They had been evicted shortly before that because we had mayor and council that were not as thrilled with pet animals as they might have been, which was a shame. At that time, one of the candidates who we unfortunately lost said, "If they lay, they stay. If they crow, they go." That is still the case with the proposed ordinance, and it is one that I think is certainly more than reasonable. Since 2006, we have collected signatures of citizens who wish to keep chickens. They were presented to you earlier as part of the package of signatures that you got. I have the originals if you wish to confirm any of them. Some of them, in fact, are duplicates because not everybody remembers that in 2006 they signed that they wanted chickens, and so they have done it a second time. And I don't have any problem with that. I have a retail store, and I'll be glad to provide supplies and support for those who keep chickens, just as I did before the unfortunate evictions. Rockville in the future will hopefully be a city where you can have a few chickens and will, as today, be able to choose a companion puppy from a retail pet store offering choices or any other legal pet from any other licensed, inspected pet retailer. I thought it was interesting during the APFS comments that the term Neuter Rockville's APFS was raised. And so I hope you're considering that in the context of the TNR program also. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ruth. Ann Goodman to be followed by Rob Selden and Sharon Kaschenbach. By Wendy Sparks and Robert Van Tassel. Welcome. And you can pull the mic down a little bit so you can, there you go.
Good evening. My name is Sofia Zachman and I'm 10 years old. I live in the College Gardens neighborhood of Rockville. I was really excited to hear that the City Council was considering allowing residents to keep chickens in their backyards. There are many great reasons to raise chickens. First, raising chickens can be a wonderful family bonding experience. Children and parents can work together to build a coop, pick out their chickens, and do chores such as feeding and watering them, cleaning the coop, collecting the eggs, and locking the chickens safely in their coop every night. If we had chickens, we would learn about biology, different breeds of chickens like Buff Orpingtons and Italian Buttercups. It would also make us feel more connected to our food if we were able to gather our eggs for cooking. Kids who have chickens could be more involved in agriculture, and they could join the 4-H Poultry Club and show their chickens at the Montgomery County Fair. Backyard chickens are beneficial to the environment. They provide natural pest control because they will eat the slugs and bugs and mosquitoes in our backyard. Chickens would help naturally fertilize our garden too. Whenever we clean up their coop, we can add their bedding to our compost pile. My brothers and I are so excited to finally get chickens, and my mom grew up on a farm, and we still visit it a couple times each year. I would really love to have some of the same experiences she had as a kid. Thank you for your time. Go chickens!
I have to say, Ms. Zuckman, you're going to be a very hard act to follow. It's very, very well done. Wendy Sparks to be followed by Robert Van Tassel and Rita Fleiger. Welcome.
Good evening. And yes, that was what I was going to say. A very tough act to follow. But hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Sparks. I'm a chemistry teacher at Richard Montgomery High School, and I live in the Rockville High School district of Rockville with my husband and my 2 small children, a kindergartner and a preschooler. And we live in a wonderful neighborhood where many people enjoy the benefits of gardening and caring for their pets. And these are both things which come with responsibilities and following city guidelines. I'm here tonight to speak in favor of allowing Rockville residents to be permitted to keep laying hens on their properties. As mentioned, I'm a science teacher. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Animal Science from Colorado State University. That's animal husbandry, the stewardship of animals, the livestock animals. And a Master's and PhD in genetics from Iowa State University. I've spent numerous months on my aunt and uncle's ranch in Wyoming, helping care for their cattle, horses, and chickens. And I can tell you from personal experience, these laying hens will become pets. They have distinct personalities, and the children and people that are taking care of them will benefit from that experience. As an undergraduate, I was also greatly involved in a livestock club, block and bridle, and community events such as Ag Day. In backing this motion to permit chickens, I also like to take a scientific and educational approach. I believe it's better for this to be legal and regulated rather than illegal with animals living in horrible living conditions. You make it legal, and then you educate the public on the responsibilities that come with being stewards of these animals. The University of Maryland Extension website has a very developed website dedicated to the caretaking of backyard hens. And I have that website here if you would like that. In addition, they offer free backyard poultry workshops to teach people about basic flock care. There are many other websites as well. And we also have many cities from which we can take a look at seeing how to roll this out, what's the best way to take care of it, including Annapolis, Vienna, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, Raleigh, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Fort Collins, Colorado, Denver, Colorado, and its suburbs, Chicago, LA, San Francisco are some of the larger cities that also allow backyard chickens. The second part of this falls under getting our kids to know where their food comes from. I'm the troop leader of my daughter's Girl Scout brand new Daisy troop, and I would love the chance to be able to take them into a backyard and see where their food comes from, how you grow it, and this is all part of the local ag movement of, the urban farmer. And that's something that, as a homeowner, I want that to be a part of where my kids grow up, as the ability to have a garden, to grow your own food, and help work towards sustaining our planet. That's one of the goals of the Girl Scouts, is to become leaders in their local communities and to become good stewards of their environment. So I would like to leave as saying, as a parent of a young child in a suburban environment, I want my child to have these opportunities and to live in a place that welcomes such opportunities. And I am not alone. I have here over 250 signatures from local residents.
Great. Mastel or Mast?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Andrea Masel. We have a small house with a huge garden in Rockdale on Mapleton Road, and we would very much want to keep backyard chickens. We want to do that because, of course, we want the eggs, but we also want the manure for our vegetable garden. And most of all, we know that keeping chickens can be a lot of fun. So I brought these 3 little gardeners. They are 4-Hers. They love animals, and they want to tell you that they want to keep chickens.
Wonderful. Welcome. If you'll pull the mic down just a little so she can.
Sabina, do you want to start?
Well, good evening. My name is Sofia Zachman. I've talked here before, and I basically just want to say that please allow us to keep chickens. That's all.
Good job.
Bettina?
I want to keep chickens because I want to collect the eggs.
Thank you.
Katja?
I want to keep chickens.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Kim Desirio? And I may have gotten that wrong.
Hi, I'm Kelly Madden
Oh.
from.
You're next. Ma'am, we'll do you next. Yep.
Okay,
Sorry.
Yes, I'm Kelly Madden from Burris Road in Rockville. I've been a resident for 18 years. I think that we all should enjoy the right to be self-sufficient by growing our own food and keeping backyard hens. As a mother, I know my kids will develop a sense of responsibility for caring for their own chickens and raising their own food, fresh eggs. As a dog owner, I look forward to the fact that a small flock of hens will generate less waste than my puppy and will be quieter too. As a bonus for all of us, chickens eat ticks and mosquitoes and even mice. As a longtime Rockville resident, I look forward to responsibly raising chickens that are clean, quiet, and environmentally friendly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm sorry, Miss Foley, please come. To be followed by Sandra, by Clark Reed, and Joyce Hatman. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Lauren Sherback. I've lived in Twin Brook since '85, and this is my first time.
Wow.
So this should tell you that this is an important event to have chickens. Now, I'm only here to represent, I went to the town hall meeting and realized that many people did not have an experience of living next door to a chicken in Twin Brook in those small backyards. And I do, and so I'm speaking to that. They are wonderful neighbors. They are very entertaining. They keep to themselves. They are not loud. They are not smelly. And they are so loved by their humans that they were taken to Germany when the humans moved to Germany. So they are pets. They are pets, and I would highly recommend that we think of them as animals that bring loving affection to our lives. And I would not think that a Twinbrook backyard is too small, because there are very responsible adults, humans, that take care of dogs in those same backyards. So that's all I'm here to say. And the other thing is that I have a feral cat that was adopted, and she's a loving pet, and some can move from the wild into your home and not go out again to kill birds. So we can adopt them. So the program works for the TNR. Thanks.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Clark Reed, to be followed by Joyce Hopman and Randall Hapman. Joyce and Randall Hapman. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Clark Reed, and I live at 5913 Crawford Drive in the Twinbrook neighborhood. I'm also chair of the Environment Commission, and it is as a commissioner that I speak to you tonight. Last October, when Councilmember Polakovich Carr introduced this proposal, I conveyed the Commission's support for it in principle. And for a variety of food safety, environmental, and social reasons, the Commission believed, and we still believe, that residents ought to have the right to raise egg-laying hens on their own property. Tonight, after careful consideration of the specific requirements proposed under the rule, I am pleased to report that the Commission unanimously endorses and supports this in full. We believe that this proposal strikes a reasonable balance between those who want to raise their own chickens and those who would deny their neighbors that right altogether. This rule does not allow an excessive number, like 25 chickens, as other cities do. 5 is the maximum number allowed in Rockville, nor does this rule allow roosters, like other cities do. Our sunrises will continue to be seen and not heard. Allowing a small number of hens also ensures their environmental impacts are kept in line with other domestic animals in Rockville. Because sound levels decrease with distance under the current proposed setbacks of 40 feet from a residential structure, the noise level would only be 33 decibels from an open window, or twice as loud as a whisper. How does this compare to other sounds that we hear from our homes? Well, a residential street is 55 decibels, a vacuum cleaner is 80, a lawnmower is 90, a barking dog is 90, and a crying baby is 110. Waste is not an issue either. 5 hens produce 1/3 of a pound of waste per day, and one 40-pound dog produces twice as much solid waste as 5 chickens. And a dog's nitrogen load in the soil is also higher as well. A well-kept coop, just like a well-kept dog run, will not smell. Proposed regulations require that the coop and outdoor enclosure be cleaned on a regular basis to prevent the accumulation of waste. Chickens will not be roaming free in backyards either, but be kept in a covered, predator-proof coop or cage that is well ventilated and designed to be easily accessible for cleaning. This ordinance is written not only to prevent the neighbors from free-ranging birds, but to keep the hens safe as well. You may hear unsubstantiated claims that hens will bring more predators into our neighborhoods. Our backyards are already attracting foxes and hawks with wild bird feeders, pet food, gardens, fish ponds, and trash. To say that chickens in protected coops will attract even more predators to our backyard is like believing that the banquet really has already started. I mean, the table has already been set. So this proposal ensures that hens are going to be reasonably safe and protected. So we are in the midst of a massive urban renaissance across this country, and hundreds of cities, as you have heard, have eased their restrictions over the past decade. Reports from these cities indicate that there are very few complaints about the chickens. Allowing residents a small number of egg-laying hens has not created a financial burden for these cities, nor have they presented a noise, odor, or rodent problem, reduced property values, or posed a public health threat. In fact, public officials in these cities where backyard chickens have been permitted for years view it as a beneficial community building and self-sustaining activity that they promote and encourage. So these reasons compel the Commission to vote unanimously in favor of recommending that the city ease restrictions to revive this historic American tradition. And we hope the mayor and the council will agree. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Joyce Hotman, to be followed by Randall Hotman.
And thank you so much for hosting us. My name is Debra Landau. I live in Rockville on Crab Avenue, and I'm a lifelong Rockville resident. I've come here to speak about this before. I'm here in support of the backyard chicken ordinance for Rockville. I've had chickens much of my life outside of Rockville, but in Maryland, outside of Maryland, and they make wonderful pets. They're a tremendous educational value for children. I have 2 kids here in Rockville schools, but they're also very educational for adults, to teach them about how to care for animals, where our food comes from, reconnecting us with our Rockville agricultural roots. We talk so much about the local food movement, but it's often really hard to have a strong connection past growing your own tomatoes. But chickens make wonderful pets. They just have a lot of benefits. They have eggs, high quality fertilizer, they control flies, stink bugs, mosquitoes, ticks. We've heard it all tonight. Obviously, overwhelmingly, the support from Rockville residents is to keep chickens. They also keep extra food waste and weeds out of the landfill. Families who own chickens will very quickly bond with them, fall in love with them. They'll become lifelong pets. Long after the egg laying has died down, they will continue to consider them an important part of their lives. In 2010, Forbes magazine published the top 10 cities where housing is appreciating in value. All 10 of these cities allowed chickens. Rockville, too, could be among these most progressive ascending cities, reconnecting with the local food movement and allowing residents to do these worthwhile, educational, valuable things for their city. I think keeping backyard hens is the best thing to do for our families, for our environment, and for Rockville. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you very much. I'm just going to real quickly read through the name of those who didn't come up, and if I've called your name, please, if I call your name, please come. Rob Selden, Jack Bauer, Kathleen Walker, I think Sandra spoke, and Don Hadley. Is there anyone else who would like to address us, please, sir? And if you would state your name and your address, please.
I wasn't on the list, so I appreciate you letting me speak. My
Sure.
name is Michael Auger. I'm a resident of College Gardens in Rockville. I just wanted to say I'm a big supporter of animal rights, and I'm vegetarian myself. I appreciate the initiative to have a open space place to run the dogs. I think that's a great idea. I'm all for the catch release program for spaying cats. I think that's fantastic. I was a little unsure about the whole chicken thing, but I've been won over by the many comments here, especially when I heard the if they crow, they go. That was my main concern, because I've been woken up by roosters. They don't crow just at the crack of dawn. They crow all through the night, and they can be annoying, but I'm glad that roosters are not on the bill. Chickens sound great as long as they're well-maintained and responsible owners that clean up after them and know how to humanely take care of animals. Then I'm all for it. So just wanted to give my 2 cents for all those issues, and thank you for taking them under consideration.
Thank you. And could you spell your last name, please?
Oh, yes. It's Auger, pronounced Auger.
Great. Thank you very much. I saw another hand in the back.
My name is Harold Smith. I live at 319 Mount Vernon Place. I'm here to speak about chickens. My great-grandfather built one of the first houses in Rockville, 108 Forest Avenue. I grew up in that house in the summers and in Poolsville on farms. I think probably few people have as much contact with chickens as I had. I picked up eggs with my grandfather as a little boy in Poolsville. My father complained bitterly about having to take care of the chickens, at 108 Forest Avenue in Rockville. But that was his job, and so historically it's been done for a long time in Rockville. I help a friend of mine take care of her organic garden in Harwood and her flock of chickens. I have a lot of personal contact with those chickens. They run across the yard and want to be fed every time you walk into the yard. They are great companions. They keep the yard free of insects, and they produce the most wonderful eggs that you will ever eat. In fact, I've eaten several of them in the last few days. The yolks are superior, bright orange. The shells are harder than conventional eggs that you buy in the store. So free-range chickens, or chickens that are allowed to go on grass and eat insects, are absolutely wonderful, healthy eggs. And the chickens are so much fun. I would much rather have chickens as my neighbors than have dogs. I have dogs in the neighborhood that bark any time of the day or night. Chickens don't do that. Also, it's very rare when you'll have a chicken attack some person. But I have been attacked by a rooster. I've been spurred by a rooster. But then you can just eat them. Which is what my friend Jan did. And she fed me the chicken broth from the broth from the rooster, so it was great to get my revenge. I think it's an absolute wonderful idea. Not that I personally want to have chickens, but I'd like to have the privilege of having chickens in my yard. And for people who want them and have them around their kids, really it couldn't be better. Some of my fondest memories are helping my grandfather pick up eggs and feed the chickens on the farm in Poolesville. And I also helped him feed the calves, but I don't think you're going to have calves in Rockville.
Okay.
Thank you.
Super, thank you very much. Are there others who would like to address the public hearing this evening? Yes, Ms. Van Sonder? I don't know. Welcome.
I haven't changed my name or my address either. I didn't plan to come here and speak about the obvious chicken things you're about getting ready to vote on, but my experience is different. I grew up in a small town in West Virginia, and we had over 100 chickens in our backyard and a huge chicken house. And my experience wasn't that positive. My brother and I used to fight about who was going to pull the neck or who was going to use the hatchet, because they were basically raised for food. It was during the Depression, and every spring we'd get a new order of about 30 peeps, and on our back porch we had this heated light situation where we kept them alive till they got to be little juniors, and then when they were integrated into the chicken house. So it was a different experience. I don't think these pets are going to want to be eaten. But they do require a lot of care and a lot of cleaning up. But I can tell you, I know how to dress a chicken. From the beginning to the end, I watched my mother so many times. And we had Japanese prisoners who were housed at a National Guard campground near our house, and after church members would take 2 or 3 of these Japanese prisoners home to eat dinner with us. And when we would have chickens, the Japanese prisoners who could not speak a word of English would nod to my mother like, good, good, you know. They were very happy to have a good, substantial meal. I also wanted to say I have 5 feral cats. I didn't plan on this, but I've had lots of indoor cats, but a few years ago I was out pruning my azaleas, and I saw these 3 little babies, and I had to. Their mother was killed by a fox, I guess. That's something else we have to think about in Rockville. We have several foxes and raccoons, which are harmful to chickens. And I started feeding them. They've all been spayed or neutered, and they've had their shots. But recently, around Christmas, when I was very busy, another cat came to my carport, and it had been in a fight and lost its tail. So I haven't had a chance to take that one in to get it spayed yet, although she doesn't show any lively activity in that direction. I have 4 beds on my carport, which have straw in them. And then my daughter found at a secondhand store a long wool sweater, and we cut it up in 4 parts. And so there's straw, beach towels, and wool sweaters. And it's getting time in the spring. I'm going to have to take them all out and air them and start all over again. But I am very much in favor of the trap and spay and neuter. Yes.
Great.
I have a friends in Olney who feed 40 feral cats at 3 different locations every night. And he's building a cat house. I don't know if you know, there's a book out called The Cat House, but he's building a 3-story and he won't let me come out until he gets it completed. He's got it in different stages. He's trying to make shelves for each one of them to have a bed to sleep on, so eventually I'll get to see the cat house. But it's quite an undertaking, all for saving the kitty cats.
Great. Thank you.
I have one addendum to our subject before. The Gazette came out, Mr. Moore, in favor of your position on
Ms.
the
Van Sonder, I just have to tell you, this is only for the public hearing for the animal ordinance. Thank you.
I wanted to say they were wrong about the last 3 elections in Rockville.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to address this public hearing? Yes.
Hi, I'm Brigida Mulligan. I live in Twinbrook, and I've been there for 49 years, and I consider this a city of Rockville. And I read the ordinance. There's 37 pages. I'm not sure if all these people who came from outside who were organized from an organization. I saw a flyer that said, bring to Rockville backyard hens, calling all gardeners, local food supporters, backyard hobbyists, animal lovers, gourmet chefs, and the future farmers. Come join us. So obviously they organized to come here and say what they were for. And a lot of it was not even for the whole entire ordinance. Like I said, I don't even think any of them read the ordinance. There's 37 pages. And of course, I read it and I listened to everybody, and I came here opposing a couple of things. I'm a taxpayer in Rockville. I feel like I live in a city, and I don't want a chicken coop on my side. I think we have enough problems with animals, with dogs and cats that need to be controlled. I don't want to see an increase in our animal control police force. I just think that we're really opening up a bag if you do. I'm definitely opposed to the section of the code that says allowing specific livestock, chicken, goats. Okay? You have an ordinance now that doesn't allow it. Leave it alone. Do not allow this. If I went to door, I think I could bring more than these people who came from outside of Rockville to speak in support of having chickens. I didn't hear a lot of people about goats, but that ordinance has allowing goats. I'm opposed to goats and chicken next door to me. I'm sorry, I'm emotional as they are. I know that people love animals, and I had little chicks. You know, we used to get chicks at Easter time. I've seen my grandparents raise chickens and eggs. Go to the agricultural farm area and raise your chickens. Do not create a problem in the city of Rockville. We don't need more problems. I know there's an argument for, yes, it smells. No, it doesn't smell. It brings more foxes. No, it doesn't. I mean, we can argue all day long. I just feel like I live in the city. I want my city to be the way it is, protect it. And I'm not afraid to be against, have 50 people say they're for something and I'm against those two things. As far as all the other cats and stuff, I'm not going to speak about that. But I object outside people coming to Rockville and really advocating here. And I hope you get more emails from citizens opposing, because I went to the town hall meeting and it was about 50-50, 50 for and 50 against. You know, and I'm watching to see what the 3 vote is here. Thank you.
Thanks very much. And could I ask for everyone to please be quiet during someone else's testimony? It's just a respect. Is there anyone else who would like to address the public hearing this evening? Yes, ma'am. Yes. And if you'll state your name and your address, please. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Leslie.
Just talking to the mic.
Hi, my name is Leslie Loomis. I live on Nimitz Avenue in Rockville, Maryland. And this is the first time I'm here. And I love animals, and I've lived here 30 years, and I always, when I'm walking, if I find a stray dog, I take it home and then take it up to the shelter. And then if I'm walking and if I find a stray cat, I take it up to the shelter. And so I'm concerned, that's the thing, I'm concerned about the chickens. I love chickens. And but I think they're a farm animal, and if you allow them, who's going to make sure that people take care of the chickens? Who's going to make sure that in the hot summer they have water, and that they're fed, and that they're taken care of? I've noticed half of the people take great care of their pets, but then some people don't care about their pets. And as a matter of fact, I have a rabbit now that I found on one of my walks. Right by the Glenwood Mansion. It was just out on the road. So I took it to the Humane Society. The owners did not come and get the rabbit. So I adopted the rabbit because I care about the rabbit. And as a matter of fact, on one of my walks, I walked up Veers Mill Road. There was a rooster running around in the street. So I had to wait till someone came to get the rooster. My point is, when you allow these things, they have to be monitored. Because some people don't care about their pets. They get them and then they leave them. They don't give them water. They don't care. And then there you are.
Right.
And to me, that's a problem. And I don't want to be saving chickens and saving, I'm already busy enough with the dogs, the cats, the rabbits. Seriously. I mean, it's like a full-time job almost,
Exactly.
So whatever you do, make sure that it's very regulated, very specific, very, controlled. And because, anyway,
right.
I hope I got my point across.
You did a great job.
Thank you for listening.
Could I ask, Leslie, could I please ask you to spell your last name?
Now everybody will know. Loomis, Loomis.
Great, super. Thank you so much. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the public hearing this evening?